was going to be a great night, and I just showed it for y'all.
He didn't get old.
I want to fight him, bro, because he been tricking the boxing game for too long. He been tricking the boxing game for too long. He makes shit look good. He makes the shit look better than what it is.
Keyshawn Davis and Gervonta Davis brought the heat at their recent live press conference face-off, with the highlight of the event being Keyshawn landing an unexpected slap on Gervonta.
Trying to ride his coattail? Like, bro, I don't need you. I don't have to fight you. I'm making real. I don't need you, bro. I don't need you, bro. I do.
Keyshawn has recently been vocal about his intentions to stay at lightweight until Tank agrees to fight him. Keyshawn believes Tank is trying to avoid him by waiting for him to move up to 140 pounds, giving Tank an excuse to claim the fight is unnecessary because of the weight difference.
Hey, Shakur, like I was telling Bud, it's either you or Keyshawn going to get Tank, because the walls are closing in. So, awesome.
It's going to be him, though.
It makes sense. He's closer.
Big brother first.
Absolutely.
At this point, it just seems things will keep escalating between these two. Khan has made it clear he's staying put no matter how long it takes. "I'm not moving up, I'm here to stay," Keyshawn declared in his usual confident tone, doubling down on his challenge to Tank. At just 25 years old, Keyshawn is one of the biggest fighters in the lightweight division. His size has been a constant talking point among boxing fans and analysts.
The only person that don't like it is him. He's kind of weird, but now he got no choice but to fight me. The fans want him to fight me. After what I just did tonight against a guy that's bigger than him, come on now. If I touch him, what's gonna happen? Talk about that. Everybody want to talk about oh Keyshawn. What if he touch you? What if I touch him?
What's gonna happen? Talk about that. Everybody wants to talk about, oh, Keon, what if he touches you? What if I touch him? Some argue that he's too big for the weight class and should already be fighting at welterweight or even junior middleweight. After rehydrating, Keyshawn often looks like he belongs in the 147 lb category, towering over his opponents with a physical presence that screams dominance. Critics call him a weight bully, saying he drains down to make the 135-pound limit and then uses his size advantage in the ring. But Keyshawn shrugs off the criticism. "They can say whatever they want. I'm here to fight, and I'm not going anywhere," he said during an interview.
I would prefer Tank Davis, the top guy. I would go for the top guy. If I could choose, I would choose Tank Davis. I would knock Tank short out. Tank is a great fighter. Hats off.
Despite his determination, staying at 135 pounds might not be sustainable for Keyshawn in the long run. Fighters in their mid-20s often find it harder to keep draining their bodies to make weight, and Keyshawn is no exception. He's fighting against time, knowing that his youthful ability to cut weight won't last forever. But for now, he's confident. "I'll stay here as long as it takes. Tank can't run forever," he said. The real question is whether Tank will ever take the fight. Gervonta Davis, one of boxing's biggest stars and a proven pay-per-view attraction, doesn't need a fight with
and Pan Am Games. Davis's skill set as a pure boxer are on full display when he fights.
Keyshawn to secure his legacy or financial future. Tank has options, plenty of them. He can fight bigger names like Devin Haney or Ryan Garcia, who bring more attention and revenue to the table. Keyshawn, for all his talent, isn't a household name yet. His fan base in Norfolk, Virginia, is loyal, but it doesn't compare to the massive following that Tank commands. This makes a fight between the two a tougher sell from a business perspective.
I feel like Tank is the type of fighter where he'll either be offensive first, or he's very, 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 very patient, and then just try to catch you slipping. You know what I'm saying? And
Keyshawn doesn't care about the politics or the money. He's focused on the fight itself, confident that he can handle whatever Tank brings to the table. "He can't fuck with me. Him and his bald coach know that," Keyshawn said, referencing Tank's trainer, Coach Kenny Ellis. According to Keyshawn, Coach Kenny has already hinted at Tank's reluctance to take the fight, allegedly saying, "Just don't call Tank out for the rest of the year." This comment, if true, adds fuel to Keyshawn's belief that Tank and his team are trying to avoid him. "They're scared. They want me to move up to 140 so they can say I'm too big," Keyshawn said, his frustration evident. But even if Tank were to agree to fight, Keyshawn might face another hurdle: negotiations. As the A-side in the face of boxing, Tank would have the upper hand in any deal.
What sets himself apart is how he applies those skills as a pro. The transition.
Keyshawn would have to agree to Tank's terms, including potential weight stipulations that Tank has used in the past to level the playing field. Keyshawn, however, isn't interested in those kinds of restrictions. "He can't do all that shenanigans he does with other fighters, not with me," Keyshawn said, but in reality, he may have little choice if he truly wants the fight. Critics argue that Keyshawn's outspoken nature could hurt his chances of landing big fights in the future. He needs to let his team handle the negotiations and stop talking himself out of opportunities, one analyst commented.
Tank said he's now the new face of boxing. What do you think?
For sure, he's the face of boxing. I don't have no problem with saying that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he deserves everything that's coming to him. He's the face of boxing for sure.
Beyond the weight and contract issues, some question whether Keyshawn is ready for a fight of this magnitude. His recent performances have been solid, but not spectacular. In 2 of his last 3 fights against Miguel Madueño and Nahir Albright, he looked less dominant than expected. Top Rank, his promoter, has since matched him against older, more experienced fighters like 35-year-old Jose Pedraza and 38-year-old Nicholas Walters. These matchups suggest that Keyshawn's team is still building him up, carefully selecting opponents to prepare him for tougher challenges down the line. Keyshawn doesn't see it that way. He believes he's ready now and that Tank is the one avoiding him. He doesn't want to fight a young, up-and-coming star, Keyshawn said. He wants to fight guys who are already established, guys who've had their time in boxing. I'm still on the rise, and he doesn't want that smoke. While Keyshawn's confidence is admirable, some analysts argue that it's premature to call him a star. He's yet to win a world title and is still relatively unknown outside of hardcore boxing.
Hey, for that other southpaw on the other side of the street, this is an example for you. But I probably can do you a little earlier than that. You and Earl keep saying this, that, and third. I want to fight, but y'all calling out other fighters. Why is that? I want to fight you. I want to fight you. You feel me? If you want to fight, let me know, because I want to fight.
The comparison between Kenyan and other fighters like Vasily Lomachenko adds another layer to the story. Lomachenko, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist and former 3-division world champion, has been at lightweight since 2018, and only now is Tank showing interest in fighting him. If it took Lomachenko 6 years to get Tank's attention, what chance does Kesele have? I don't think Tank is going to fight him anytime soon, no matter how long he stays at 135. End quote. One commentator noted, Keyshawn is undeterred. He's willing to wait, even if it means staying at lightweight longer than his body can handle. I'm not going anywhere, he said. But the reality is time is not on his side. As he continues to grow and mature, it will become increasingly difficult for him to make the lightweight limit.
Is Keyshawn ready based on this performance to take on Tank Davis, and how does that fight
Yes,
play
I feel
out?
like Keyshawn is ready to take on a guy like Tank. I think that Keyshawn is one of the most skillful fighters in the sport of boxing. I always told Keyshawn.
And if he moves up to welterweight or junior middleweight, he'll face a whole new set of challenges. Fighters like Jaron Ennis at 147 and Bakram Murtazaliev at 154 are waiting in those divisions, and they're not the kind of opponents you want to face without proper preparation. Despite the obstacles, Keyshawn remains focused on his goal. He's determined to prove that he belongs in the ring with the best, and he's not afraid to make bold statements to back it up. Tank knows what's up, he's just not ready to face me, Keyshawn said, his confidence unwavering. As much as many fans see Keyshawn as a delusional young fighter, to claim he can knock out Tank, there's actually a surprising number of people who believe that Keyshawn actually has a chance.
But in 5 years, you know, Gervonta Tank Davis will be 34 years old, right? So there is a way that I can see Keyshawn Davis really gaining a whole lot of traction and taking that mantle. He beat Tank Davis for under.
Trainer Greg Hackett sees a fight between Keyshawn Davis and Gervonta Davis as a 50-50 contest. Hackett's reasoning rests on the 25-year-old Keyshawn's Olympic experience, believing it could counterbalance what Tank Davis brings to the table. With a little but impressive record, Keyshawn's potential has been hyped by some, including Hackett, who even claimed Keyshawn could beat Tank, Devin Haney, and someone referred to as Vargas. While there is no Vargas in the lightweight division's top 15, Hackett likely meant William Zepeda.
From Tokyo, Japan, Shuichiro Yoshino. This is the scene right now in the locker room.
This kind of casual misstep in naming opponents shows how far removed some assessments are from reality. In recent interviews, Keyshawn has boldly stated he could defeat Tank, Vasily Lomachenko, and Haney. However, the glaring omission of Cuba's Andy Cruz from this list speaks volumes. Cruz, who defeated Keyshawn 4 times in the amateurs, including an emphatic win in the 2020 Olympic finals, represents a chapter of Keyshawn's career that he may want to forget. That final loss saw Keyshawn displaying irrational behavior, celebrating as though he had won, despite Cruz dominating the bout. In the professional ranks, Cruz has shown a level of advancement and poise that makes him appear far closer to securing a world title than Keyshawn.
Yo, but what about Keyshawn saying that the Tank is target practice? You heard that audio?
I like how Keyshawn, he's clout chasing. Bring up Tank's name, sell your fight, get the most
That's
views
what Morrell
on it.
was doing.
Yeah, that's what Morrell was doing. But Keyshawn, no, I don't know if he could beat Tank. He got to get past.
Top Rank's decision to sign Keyshawn instead of Cruz remains baffling. It's not just about the losses, it's about how those losses revealed fundamental flaws in Keyshawn's mental game. Top Rank seems to have doubled down on their choice, but Keyshawn's performances in the professional ring haven't justified their faith. His recent bouts against Miguel Madueño and Nahir Albright have raised significant doubts. Speaking of these jealousies between the two men, against Albright, Keyshawn was visibly hurt, leading Top Rank to offer him a softer opponent in Madueño as a confidence booster. Yet even in that fight, Keyshawn's performance was riddled with panic and questionable tactics.
Because what happened when Shakur do it, when somebody chasing him around, it's boring. What's next for Tank? If anything, it's going to be Keyshawn out of them two. Keyshawn is more entertaining. Keyshawn going to stand there and throw the punches. You can look into Shakur eyes when I show y'all this when Terrence say...
Keyshawn's fight against Madueño turned into a spectacle for all the wrong reasons. Instead of showcasing his skills, Keyshawn resorted to fouling, holding, and wrestling behavior more fitting for a WWE ring than a boxing match. The referee's failure to penalize Keyshawn for his actions underscored the favoritism often extended to A-side fighters.
Whether or not it's deserved, Davis has established himself as one of the best.
By the fifth round, Keyshawn's antics should have led to disqualification, but he was allowed to continue, tarnishing the credibility of the match. Observers who hoped to see a composed and skillful fighter were left questioning whether Keyshawn has what it takes to thrive at the highest levels of the sport.
The 135-pound division, we look at it, Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia. Do you ultimately believe that fight will happen? If it does, how do you see it?
Yeah, I believe it's going to happen. But there's too much talking right now for it not to happen.
Greg Hackett's praise for Keyshawn's Olympic experience overlooks a critical point. Success in the amateur ranks doesn't always translate to the pros. The Olympics' 3-round format is a different beast compared to the endurance and adaptability required in 6 or 10-round professional bouts. Keyshawn's tendency to unravel under pressure has been a recurring theme, from his struggles against Albright to his meltdown against Madueño. These performances starkly contrast with the likes of Lomachenko, Tank, and Haney, who have consistently demonstrated composure and adaptability in high-pressure situations. Hackett's comments about Keyshawn making adjustments in the Madueño fight seem detached from reality.
When I got in the ring, I'm not gonna lie, he surprised me with how much defense he really had. You know, of course, I was looking out for the power of, like, off the rip. I was looking out for his power. But when I started, like, when I was attacking and trying to set stuff up, like, he got, like, good upper body movement, and he got some good legs when he used them. So he surprised me with his defense.
The only adjustment Keyshawn made was turning the contest into a brawl using illegal tactics to survive. These desperate measures reveal a fighter who lacks confidence in his ability to box his way out of trouble. For Keyshawn, the transition from amateur star to professional contender has been anything but smooth. His reliance on roughhousing and fouling suggests a deeper issue, a lack of trust in his skills and strategy. Keyshawn's struggles raise broader questions about Top Rank's strategy and long-term plans for him. The promotional powerhouse's investment in Keyshawn seems increasingly tenuous as his performances failed to live up to expectations. The Albright fight exposed his vulnerability, and the Madueño bout only deepened concerns about his readiness for elite competition.
What have Shakur done? What have he done in the sport? He haven't done nothing. The young one is looking more better than him. Who that? Keyshawn looking way more better than this. I keep screaming this name, he haven't done nothing. Keyshawn haven't even done nothing.
It's hard to imagine Top Rank's executives watching those fights without contemplating an exit strategy. Keyshawn's inability to shine against mid-level opponents doesn't bode well for his prospects against top-tier fighters. Hackett's assertion that Keyshawn could give Tank and Haney trouble is difficult to take seriously. Tank's combination of power and boxing IQ would likely overwhelm Keyshawn, who has shown a tendency to wilt under pressure. Similarly, Haney's technical skills and discipline make him a nightmare matchup for someone as inconsistent as Keyshawn. The idea that these fights are 50/50 contests seems more like wishful thinking than a grounded assessment. William Zepeda, whom Hackett might have mistakenly referred to as Vargas, presents another daunting challenge for Keyshawn.
You see Burgos covering that up. You see him covering that side up with that elbow.
Zepeda's relentless pressure and high-volume punching would test Keyshawn's stamina and mental toughness, two areas where he has shown significant weakness. Kasane's pattern of panicking under duress suggests he would struggle to cope with Zepeda's aggressive style. Hackett's confidence in Kessin's ability to beat Zepeda seems misplaced, especially given Kessin's recent track record. Kessin's braveness in claiming he could defeat Tank, Lomachenko, and Haney might play well in interviews, but it's not supported by his in-ring performances.
Do you really believe Keyshawn is ready for Tank, bruh?
Do I believe Keyshawn's ready for Tank? I think it'd be like a Frank Martin situation. I don't think he would look bad in there like Frank didn't look bad in there, but eventually he's gonna get you.
Lomachenko's mastery of angles and footwork would likely leave Kassan flustered and ineffective. Tank's ability to close the distance and land fight-airing shots poses a threat that Kassan has never faced before. Haney's precision and ring IQ would expose Kassan's technical deficiencies. These are fighters who have proven themselves against elite competition, whereas Kassan is still struggling to find his footing. He and Tanky have still struggling to find their footing. Andy Cruz's trajectory offers a stark contrast to Kassan's struggles. After dominating Kassan in the amateurs, Cruz has seamlessly transitioned to the professional ranks, showcasing the skills and composure that make him a future world champion. Top Rank's decision to pass on Cruz in favor of Kassan looks increasingly questionable. Cruz's success serves as a reminder of what could have been for Top Rank if they had chosen a fighter with a proven ability to perform under pressure. Kassan supporters may point to his Olympic silver medal as evidence of his potential, but the reality is more complicated. The same mental lapses that cost him against Cruz in the Olympics have reappeared in his professional career. Boxing at the highest level demands not just physical talent but also mental resilience, and Kaysen has yet to demonstrate he possesses the latter. His tendency to unravel when faced with adversity raises serious doubts about his ability to compete with the sport's best. The victory against Lemos marked a significant moment in his career, positioning him as the WBO mandatory challenger to champion Denis Berinchik. This win could open the door to a potential title fight, but the path to a bout with Gervonta Davis remains uncertain. Top Rank seems unlikely to successfully negotiate a fight with Tank, especially given the gap in their profiles and Kessin's current level of stardom. Unless Kassan's popularity skyrockets, a clash with Tank may never materialize. Additionally, Kassan's size might force him to move up in weight before such an opportunity arises, as he already looked comparable in size to the 155 lb Gustavo Lemos in the ring.
Didn't watch it, but I saw it was an early knockout. You know, he come out sharp and put the man to sleep. You know, so you know he is next up. He's going to be a great fighter.
He's calling for Tank. Now
he beats Tank.
Yeah, you think so?
Keyshawn Davis beats Tank, in my opinion. I believe he's given him a good ass spank.
Kassan himself admitted the knockout came as a surprise even to him. Speaking to the media after his win over Lemos, he remarked, "I didn't think I was going to stop Lemos. I thought he was going to be very tough, durable, and we were going to be in there fighting, kind of like my last fight." Despite his expectations, the stoppage in the second round showcased Kassan's ability to capitalize on his opponent's weaknesses. From the start, it was clear why Lemos had been chosen as Kaysen's opponent. Lemos' wild punches and defensive lapses made him an ideal opponent for Kessin to shine against. Within the first 30 seconds, it was evident that Lemos posed little threat. The choice to face Lemos rather than tougher contenders like Andy Cruz or Raymond Muratella allowed Kessin to put on a dominant performance and maintain his momentum.
Burgo said, "Let me try that."
Come on, fellas, work.
I knocked him out in the second round. I knew when I dropped him the first time that it was over. I already knew it was over and I just closed the show, Kessin said. Kassan's confidence extended beyond his performance against Lemons as he turned his attention to Tank Davis. "The only person that doesn't like it is him," Keyshawn said about Tank's reaction to his callouts. "He's kind of weird, but now he has no choice but to fight me. The fans want him to fight me after what I did tonight against a guy that is bigger than him." While Keyshawn's belief in his ability to hurt Tank is admirable, his approach to calling out the undefeated superstar might not be effective. Tank has a history of brushing off callouts from lesser-known fighters, reserving his attention for opponents who bring substantial star power or fan demand to the table. Ryan Garcia was an exception thanks to his massive social media following and marketable image, but Kessin currently lacks that kind of broad appeal. While Kessin's Broad West Possible actively helps establish his win streak after losing to the UFC in the first place, he has never won with promising, relevant girls. His decade-long record knockout win was impressive. His performance wasn't without flaws. Excessive clinching was a noticeable issue, breaking the rhythm of the fight and potentially frustrating fans. His reliance on movement, rather than standing and exchanging blows in the pocket, also drew criticism. Additionally, his use of stiff arms, a technique often deemed illegal, may have detracted from the overall quality of his performance. These tendencies, if not addressed, could limit his appeal and hinder his growth as a fighter capable of taking on top-tier opponents. To build a stronger case for a fight with Tank or other elite competitors, Kesson needs to make adjustments. He must showcase a more aggressive, fan-friendly style, emphasizing exchanges and reducing his reliance on tactics like clinching and stiff arms. His ability to consistently deliver knockouts will be key to building his profile and proving that he belongs in the same conversation as fighters like Tank.
Hey, you been knowing me though. I'm just getting to know you, sir. I don't know shit about you. They been knowing me. I'm just getting to know you, sir. You know, I've been standing on business. I ain't know who you was. I've been standing on business. This is what I've been doing. On this business. Boy, since the Olympics, since before the Olympics, I bet.
Tank Davis, meanwhile, is unlikely to be swayed by Kesson's callouts. Tank's track record shows that he responds more to marketable opportunities than to pressure from contenders. Kesson's best strategy is to focus on his own career trajectory, continuing to improve and deliver exciting performances that generate organic demand for a potential clash. For now, his attention will likely turn to Denis Berinchyk as he prepares for what could be his first world title shot. Well, do you think this heat will eventually lead to a fight? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.